Thank you. Beautiful music. Good way to start. Good morning, everyone. Okay. I don't know what kind of morning you had, but I had an incredible morning digging out my car from a snowbank. I started at the crack of dawn, and at 7:15 about, I had finished digging it out and getting it to a place where I could turn it around and just drive downhill. I would never be able to go back up toward my house. It's too much snow because I live in the mountains. So that was an interesting beginning for the day, and it's gotten better, as we've gone along here. And I see that the sun is out and the snow is melting, and that makes me happy. All right, is there anybody here from another unity? Anybody here for the first time? You're here for the first time. We have a gift for you. Can you hold your hand up way up high? We have a. All right, yeah. This is it. Is this the same stuff we give out all the time? It's a bag of marijuana. It's okay. Cool. Anyway, so Tisha, you're out here already. What are you doing out here already? You want to hear it? What? Oh, wow, okay. You're a flute player. And a poet. All right, well, it's great to have you with us. So everybody, we have a great start this morning. We're going to have a poet sharing beautiful music through a flute. All right, enjoy it. That's what we're here to do in life, is enjoy it.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. Those of you who are joining us here in person and those of us joining online, thank you so much for spending some time together with us today. We love it. Double thanks to everyone who showed up today in person. I'm sure your drives were exciting or at the very least interesting. Today we're having a potluck following this service over here in Fellowship Hall. Even if you didn't bring anything, please come join us. We have plenty of food. We hang out, we chat. It is a great time to just hang out and meet other Unity members right over here immediately following this service. So please, please, please join us for that. We would love it. Also, while you're here, make sure to check out our gift shop over here. It's got stuff you will not find anywhere else in Boulder, and definitely not at these prices. So check that out. And now, this is the moment where we would like to go into prayer, and I would like to welcome my friend and our prayer partner, Steve Sheets, out here. And this is the moment where we can pray for anyone, anything. You can pray for yourself. Steve is going to walk around with his prayer box here, and if you'd like to take a sheet of paper in front of you in the pew and write down your name, someone else's name, or anything you would like prayed over for 30 days at Silent Unity, Steve will collect that and put it in his box. And while he's doing that, today we are going to welcome today's special musician who's going to musically lead us in prayer. This is Valerie Zarek. Her friends call her Poet Val. She's an award-winning performance poet and Native American flute player. Her poems are healing, present, political, shamanic, and a cross between the seen and the unseen worlds effortlessly. Her words, music, and workshops are featured at festivals far and wide. So let's please welcome Valerie, or Poet Val. Take it away.
had my feathers replaced today. Along my shoulders and the back of my neck, the old ones hardly catching the currents anymore. I'd forgotten to molt and hung on to everything I ever had. Today, I let go, pluck the disheveled, and replace them with the grand. Part angel, part great blue heron, and downy owl feathers along my spine. I don the taloned feet of hawk, firm, relaxed, unfettered by storms. I see the moon different, shadows as friends. I'm going to move us in with one more poem, another bird poem. And there's a little backstory to this. So I carried my recycling outside one morning in a brown Rubbermaid trash can like you might keep under your kitchen sink, and I emptied it out and I forgot it outside. And later I went and I picked it up and I was startled because it was hot and I just dropped it. And then I saw the sun streaming into it, and I said out loud, "Oh, you're just a bucket of sunshine, aren't you?" And I think it's an important experience because we can change our mindset and change everything by reframing. Like if you're having a really hard day, you can say, "Am I a hot trash can or am I a bucket of sunshine?" Whoops. So I walked in the house and I wrote this poem. Offerings. I carried a bucket of sunshine into the kitchen this morning. How could I have missed such pleasure, such magic all these years? What's free is generous. Like the daily feathers I've been receiving. I could say finding, but they are not lost. They are the shed offerings that lift into heaven from earth with a lightness of being I want to remember. I've collected a basket of moonbeams for August in honor of the month I was born. A little bird fallen from a nest, expected to walk like a human, watching the ground to not stumble, when all the secrets of magic are in the sky. Thank you.
Can move the mountains, bring good to all that we see, to all that we need, as close as every breath that's taken. We feel the light beaming through, it is guiding our way. Creator can move the mountains, bring good to all that we see, to all that we need, as close as every breath that's taken. We feel the light beaming through. It is guiding our way. Creator can move the mountains, bring good to all that we see, to all that we need, as close as every breath that's taken. We feel the light beaming through. It is guiding our way. Shine your light and let the whole world see. We're singing, shine your light and let the whole world see. We're singing, shine your light and let the whole world see. We're singing, shine your light and let the whole world see. Creator can move the mountains, bring good to all that we see, to all that we need, as close as every breath that's taken. We feel the light beaming through. It is guiding our way. Creator can move the mountains, bring good to all that we see, to all that we need, as close as every breath that's taken. Feel the light beaming through. It is guiding our way. Shine your light and let the whole world see. We're singing, shine your light and let the whole world see. We're singing, shine your light and let the whole world see. We're singing, shine your light and let the whole world see.
And get in peace. Thank you.
Thank you.
That rousing start, amazing, and that beautiful poetry and flute playing. Oh my gosh, we could just do that every week. You got to come back. Love it. Thank you so much. A little different. It's nice to change it up and do something different. So my name is Cintisha Groverland. I'm one of the spiritual leaders here at Unity of Boulder, and I'm completing a 4-week series titled Welcoming 2024, A Year of Spiritual Growth and Balance. So I'm going to kind of revisit some of the things we covered and then finish with a bang, hopefully. So the focus of this talk series was on the fact that it's a numerology 8 year. And 8 is a wonderful number for a year. So it represents the process for karmic balance and manifestation, abundance and success, a year for yielding strength and empowerment and the grace of spiritual harmony. I mean, it's just so many things. So You'll find that I started with this series because last year was difficult for everyone, and it was really making space for this next year. So when we go through difficult times, we have to always have the courage and the faith that as we're going through those deepening moments, it's usually through the hard stuff that we discover the power of this love, and we open up a space for all this good to come in. And we can't fill a glass that's already full, and if we're in a place where there's challenging things, it's emptying the glass of the trauma and the issues and the things that keep us from the powerful unfoldment of the light of God in us as us, right? So this year, you will prosper according to the strength of your determination, the accuracy of the information you take in, and the depth of your awareness. Throughout the year, your ability to make things happen and get things done will increase. Your expectations will rise along with your confidence and feelings of satisfaction. So you're going to be taking this series with you. This is going to be like stepping on and growing. This year the abundance just keeps coming. We're just opening up to all the wonderful things that are coming and trusting that it is, right? So last year was deeply emotional and confusing for many of us, but it enabled us to answer many questions about who we really are and why our life is as it is. It had to be that way so you could know what your needs actually are. Now, knowing that was enough, while that was fun, let's totally step into 2024, right? It's time to get down to business. You instinctively and intuitively know that you must become stronger than you ever have been, right? And stronger meaning not endurance and lifting weights, but stronger in our faith. That there's something greater at hand that's always divinely directing and guiding our lives. And there's a reason and a season for everything. Right? And there are seasons where there's an introspection, a time for growth, a time for things to fall away that no longer serve us. And what was beautiful about this last year is that we were all having that fall away happen. So you didn't have a group of people just like, oh, it's just been the most amazing year. And the rest are like, really? Because we're all kind of riding the tides together now. And that it started in 2020 when COVID happened, when we all kind of got in sync and we all got flattened and had to discover the truth of our beings, and we've all been gradually doing that together. So there's no longer where you're really coming into the presence of a really awakened group and a really lost group. We're all awakening. That's happening, right? But sometimes it doesn't feel like it's a fun process, right? But this year is the fun unfoldment, the beauty of all the good that's going to come from it. So 8 is the number of power, material and financial gain, achievement, reward, status, and satisfaction. The 8-year vibration will provide the means, the personal power with which to change the status quo and accomplish a significant goal that will alter the direction and quality of your journey for the rest of your life. So my talk title for today is Balancing Material and Spiritual Goals. That's the focus of today's talk. So what you're listening to right now is a frequency, and it's the 999 hertz frequency, which is the activation of your light body. The light body being the part of us that never dies. The light body that moves on and it never has any sequence. The physical has a physical life and it has a physical death. But the light body is the light. The part of you that's been growing many, many, many lifetimes. And so this is helping us access all of the knowledge of all the many lifetimes that we've lived, so that we don't have to keep skinning our knees from difficult stuff that we keep repeating from some karmic memory or something, that we can become into this wholeness, into this light being that we are all meant to be here. I want to clarify, since it is the beginning of the year, I always like to just kind of clarify what unity isn't more than what unity is, because it's hard to define what unity is. It's easier to define what it's not. And it goes like this. Unity is not a religious-centered or church-centered center, Jesus-centered or dogma-centered. Jesus stressed a spiritual philosophy that is you-centered. You do not accomplish Jesus' ideals simply by believing things about him. You must come to believe about yourself what Jesus believed about himself. And you can put Buddha, you can put Krishna, any of the great seers that preceded us, that knowledge and that oneness with this omnipresence that is available to all of us, and it moves in and through every aspect of our life. So Unity's teachings isn't about something to believe, it is about something to do. And judging by the testimonies of people who've been a part of Unity worldwide for the last 100 and some years, we believe it can be the means of changing and transforming your life. So with that said, we'll go on. So our founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, beautiful, insightful people, were Christians, but they felt that there was a way to look at the Bible where we could apply it towards our own selves. Like, how do we bring 2,000 years ago to this moment? And what do these stories actually mean? How are they applied? So that's where metaphysics comes in, and we can break down every word in the Bible that applies to how does truth work, or how does the word sin, or how does, devil, or the different words that look like there's this dark energy in this world and that things can come and get us and all these things. And Unity is about discovering the heaven in the midst of ourselves. And the word sin, so you can look up metaphysically every word in the Bible, and sin means error or missing the mark. It just means a consciousness that we're creating a dark experience in our lives because we're believing something less than in ourselves, and we're creating outer pictures of what's broken in ourselves. Right? Everything is us-centered. We are creating the life that we're living in. So some people say, oh, it's the easiest spiritual path to be on in Unity, and the truth is that's not true. Because many religious paths have very specific rules. You accept Jesus Christ as your Savior, then you get the favor of God, and you have to do all these things, and you do these prayers and everything, and then God's going to give you its favor. There's some separate man God. And we believe God is the universe. It's the source of all life. And so to take to task what we're harboring and believing about ourselves, and actually having to heal the traumas of our childhoods or the karmic memories that we brought into this life, is actually much more intense than just getting rules to follow. The rules that we're following is our intuition, our instinct, our willing to forgive people that have made mistakes, willing to love people that can't even see the love in themselves, right? Because it really comes down to what is the source of energy. It is love. So our founders developed 5 basic principles that can be used as a template for spiritual growth. These principles allow each individual to experience a self-determined path for spiritual growth within the context of a safe and supportive community. And this is the one. So I did 4 of the 5. This is one more this week. Principle 1 of the 5 basic principles, of course I didn't do them in order because I just don't work that way. So we'll start back at the very beginning. We'll start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. We all know that song, right? There's only one presence and one power active as the universe, and in my life, God, the good. There is only one presence and one power active as the universe, and in my life, God, the good. And so God is never put in a demeaning space where it's anything but good. And that also means that we also are ultimately good. And anything that's different than that is created by the limitation in our belief in things that are of lower nature, of the chakras that are from here down. As we're awakening, we're all working from the 3D consciousness to the 5D consciousness. We know when we're in the lower nature because we don't feel good. We don't feel God, right? We feel cut off. We don't feel in synergy with this divine energy that's divinely loving us, holding us, guiding us, visiting us in dreams, and all of that wonderful nurturement that should be happening. And if it's not, something has gone wrong. So I'm going to start with the first week we covered karma, reincarnation, and manifestation. So you can find all of these services on YouTube. You just type in Unity of Boulder, and the first week was January 14th, and then you can follow from there. So we went through this. I'm just going to cover them just a little bit. The universal law of cause and effect states that for every effect there is a definite cause. Likewise, for every cause there's a definite effect. Your thoughts, behaviors, and actions create specific effects that manifest and create your life as you know it. So we looked at Unity's belief system on reincarnation and karma, and I shared that they don't really like to put their foot down about anything. They like us to, as the students of Unity, to allow what vibrationally makes sense and feels good to us, right? So they don't really put their foot down about, is it real or isn't real? It's what has been your experience, because some of us have had very strong experiences where we just know that there's been many lifetimes. We've had visitations from the other side, or we've had out-of-body experiences, and we get a knowledge from those moments. And some of us haven't been gifted with those experiences, and that doesn't make you less than anybody. It just depends on what journey and where you are at in your soul's unfoldment. But I shared that Edgar Cayce's work, who's the most documented psychic of all time, and he lived in the last 100 years, could read people's Akashic records and share with you where your soul is in this lifetime, and you could heal things from your past. And he referred to karma as memory. Not just the memory of things that have happened in the present day life of someone wronging you, and therefore the effect is karma on you from memory and karma on them from memory, but a means to understand why we have had many similar occurrences over and over again with different circumstances, different people, but the same triggers are experienced. And until we heal it from a grown and higher state of consciousness, we will relive a sort of Groundhog's Day experience. With these experiences that are painful, and we reviewed Edgar Cayce's standpoint that many times it's due to past life choices before we entered, with things like choosing parents, friendships that have come in to revisit us to full circle heal a relationship that's still tarnished from another lifetime. Like, so how many people can follow me here? I mean, this is deep stuff, and it's fun stuff, but it's true. And so when many of us have parents, and we all love our parents, but do we like our parents? Right? I love and like my parents, but they've also grown me extremely. And I know I'm the same way for my 3 children, right? I'm not their best friend all the time, And then friends, soul friends. When those soul friends have come into your life, because it's just an instant connection, right? They come in and they never leave your psyche, even if they pass over from the physical, or they're, doing this experience from another state. You always feel connected to them because they're a part of your soul, right? It's when we start to realize that everything is this magical something, even when we feel like we're alone in this world and don't feel a part of, you also have these soul connections that are loving you and thinking of you in this experience. It's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So when we heal these parts of ourselves, these things that keep reoccurring, kind of like a Groundhog's Day that keeps coming up with different situations, different people, different circumstances, when we recognize the pattern, that's when it goes away. When we finally heal the cut that keeps making us face it, because we're facing it to become stronger, braver, more faith-filled in this greater something, that there's a purpose for everything, even the hurt and the hardship. As hard as that is, that's the truth. And the one thing we can count on is change. And we have seasons where things are really glowy and wonderful, and you can be guaranteed that it's going to change, because those depths of difficulties and those caverns that we have to heal and be, we're going to keep doing it. And every time you think you've attained it, I promise, the universe will show up and we have more growing to do. And we'll do that till we leave this physical experience, right? Some of us, in our karmic decisions before we came here, said we'll take on more this lifetime than others. So you'll wonder why somebody else's life looks so much more green and pastures, and your life just seems like this pummeling over and over again, and yet you have a great sense of your connection with God. Which one do you want? Do you want it to be easy? Or do you want to understand this cosmic something that a lot of people don't understand or resonate and know their divine heritage as a perfect child of God? So we know that last year was deeply emotional and confusing for you, but it enabled you to answer many questions about who you really are and why your life is as it is. It had to be that way so you could know what your needs actually are. Who's really clear about what your needs are after this last year? Well, I'd like to see more hands than that. So let's do a little bit more reflection. So the number 8 year that we are in is a karmic full circle of understanding, a new interpretation of ethereal choices we might have made to better grow our soul. What about that? That you made a choice, that you're not a victim of all these hardships, but you might have, from this conscious high place, say, I am going to go in and experience the opportunity to learn how to forgive this lifetime. I am going to go in and I am going to experience the deepest loss of a child this lifetime. Because I want to understand how you heal from the tragic and discover how the heart can be broken open to something that is earth angel-like, that you're that light for yourself and others. I just got chills so bad all over my body. You know you're touching in when that happens, right? When the body goes, yeah, I can feel that, we can feel that. And that might be some of the challenges, the difficult people, the struggle, the loss may have actually been divinely created and guided from us for this lifetime of growth. So then it's not from something else that's like doing it to you. I love these like TikToks where they show like comedians like looking at their karmic contracts before they come in and they're like, oh no, I'm not gonna go do this, right? They're like showing that we get to see it and they're like, and the angels have decided for you, and you're like, no. I'm not going in and facing that karmic contract this lifetime. I think, being somebody on this, human journey as a spiritual being, that we should have attorneys on the other side before we sign up for some of the stuff we're going to do here. Okay, so that was week 1. Week 2, the year of 2024, represented by the number 8, thus holds potent energy for those seeking inspiration in their spiritual journey. It's a year that can bring profound growth, balance, and a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness between all of us in all aspects of life. The interconnectedness between all of us in all aspects of life. This is the call of this year, is community and connection. We do it so much better together than apart. And we all got so isolated and we learned so much about being alone and being with our phones and everything during that COVID time, and now we're all feeling this almost of an inhibition to go be together because we haven't been together with others. And then we have a moment where we're just sitting with somebody and you're just talking and you just feel this sense of just this grief and the loss of all those years being in separation, because the mirroring of just the vibration of being with other, that's why we're here. The vibration of being with other as far as animals go, being in vibration of other as just the being around the trees, being around the sun, recognizing the sunshine in your trash bin, right? That vibration of being connected to other. We don't really go deep if we keep doing it isolated. Isolation is not part of the omnipresence of the oneness. Oneness is the goal. Oneness is the thing that will heal this planet and this world. And in that oneness, we collectively can start to rise up and be the light that we want to see together. So we're not doing it alone, right? So I shared in that week that we learned so much from telling stories, sharing poetry. You look at any indigenous tribe, you look at their communities, everything is about storytelling, and it's about the wisdom keepers that share these stories so that the young ones don't have to learn the hard way, for them to vibrate at this high frequency from day one so that they don't have to feel the kind of disconnection and loss and fear that our young people are feeling out in this world, and they're taking themselves out because the energy of this world feels so scary and nobody's holding the space for them. We're like, oh, you can go out, and we think that the world is the same for them as it was for us, and it's not. They need the communities. They need us. They need the wisdom teachers. They need the ones that are going to hold the spaces and be the love that keeps blowing and saying, you're going to be okay. And if you ever need me, my phone is always here. You can always be in my home. And there's always tomorrow is a better day. You just got to make it to that next day. That's what wisdom keepers tell you. They teach you how to be like, I am in a really dark place. All I have to do is go to bed. And tomorrow I will feel lighter. And I'll have wisdom and know what the next day means. But as older people have to start holding that, asking these kids questions, these teenagers questions, these young adults questions, these young mothers questions. Tell me your story. Tell me how you're feeling. And watch how they'll ask you, how did you get through the phase of having 3 young children and not having enough money to take care of it all? And we can share our experiences of feeling really fearful in this world and hold them to the mirror that you're not alone. Nobody's alone. That's why community is so important now, no matter where you're getting it. If it's in your tithing of your time, if it's with your political support and you're going and you're helping there, as long as it's coming from a state of love in community, you're taking action, again, to be the change that you want to see. So we learn from telling our stories. We also learn from listening to people's stories. Being a great listener is a powerful thing. Jesus was documented in the 4 Gospels. Even though he knew all the answers, he focused so much of his interaction with people on asking them questions. In fact, on record, he asked 339 questions, using different kinds of questions to engage, instruct, inspire, and challenge his listeners. He only answered 183 questions. So look at how much more. This is why being curious about people, places, experience that we don't understand or would like to learn more about has such a lasting effect on our growth. You know, when you just have a situation where somebody needs you and you can feel it and they don't know you, and we step out of our comfort zone and say, do you need to talk? Do you need a hug? Can I sit with you for a minute? Someone that's sitting out in the freezing cold and might not have enough of a jacket on. And hearing their story and vibrating and understanding that their story is your story too. And yet it shouldn't be. But somehow it's all of our stories. So what happens when we connect with soul-to-soul interaction and connection? We discover the divine spark in ourselves. When we are giving more than receiving, when we're giving of this love, we're sharing this love. Just the listening is a giving of love. And being that advocate for this kind of energy, man, nothing will stand in your way for all this good that's supposed to come with this number 8 year. Because you know what you're doing when you're giving and you're listening and you're doing something and you're not thinking me, 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 me? You're opening up a channel. You're pouring that cup out in the best way so that all this good can just rush in and fill this glass of your soul. So this week was this is week 2, was also about releasing control and surrendering to what is being called by the universe, no longer dictating how the good is going to come your way. Right? The best way to get out of the way of dictating how your good is going to come to your way is give. Give in tithes to the center that this place is spiritually feeding you. Take care of it. Give in time, talent, treasure. It's all of those things. It's giving away that which you don't think you can give away. It's like when you don't think you have any money, give your money away. Because you're pouring out the cup and it rushes in to fill up the cup of your soul. We also covered people that give us energy and people who take energy from us. And how important it is for us to understand that when we surround ourselves with people that are living in high vibration, we can fill our glass up. And when we are full, we can reach out to the ones that are takers. Because usually people that are takers are in a crisis. Their life is not in a good place. And they need to be heard and listened to. But that's not for you to take on your physicality, on your mind, body, spirit, because we have to protect ourselves as these empathic givers in this world. You have to measure how much. Because there's some that are systematically just always takers. And they're never going to be anything else. And it's okay to give them the time, but just balance it out with the high frequencies, so you can protect this energy body that you are, because this is how people get sick. We keep giving to people that can't reciprocate. And they might learn by you not reciprocating that they'll start to go, oh, where is Santisha? Where is Ed? Where is that person that's always feeding this thing that's limited in me? Oh, I have to do this for myself. Oh, I have to connect with this divine nature within me. I don't need to take their divine nature. Oh, I have it in me too. The spark of light is within me. So I gave this example last week, which is we protect ourselves. We start with this look. We just start from the heart and we just see energetic light going out this way and out into the back. And it goes this way and then comes up from Mother Earth, up above the head, down, and the spheres are going both directions. Before you leave your house, before you leave your office, before you go into the public spaces of the energetic world, you'll have more to give because you're staying in a channel of the divine, limitless source that's giving to you always, as long as you don't let them into that bubble. They don't need to get into your bubble. That bubble's for you. That's between you and God. And you're getting all this channeled energy while you're helping others. So week 4, that's today. And the closing talk. In the recent years, there has been a growing interest in exploring higher states of consciousness and the concept of moving from 3D to 5D consciousness. These terms are often used in spiritual and metaphysical discussions, describe different ways of experiencing and perceiving reality. In this article, we will delve into the definition of 3D versus 5D, as well as explore various dualities and how raising one's vibration can facilitate the journey towards 5D consciousness. So who's heard about the journey between 3D to 5D consciousness? And so who would say they're still at 3? Brave people. That is not true. I am not doing it. Who's in 4D consciousness, which we'll define? And who's in 5? You guys are really loosey-goosey. These arms are kind of like, I don't know. I'm not so sure. Guess what? Nobody's judging you up here. It depends on what minute it is for me. 3D versus 5D, the terms 3D and 5D refer to different levels of consciousness and awareness. In the 3D, third-dimensional state, individuals perceive reality primarily through the physical senses and identify with the material world. This perspective tends to be ego-driven, focusing on separation, fear, and competition. In contrast, the 5D, fifth-dimensional state, transcends the limitations of the 3D experience. It involves a heightened level of consciousness where individuals become more interconnected, compassionate, and aligned with unity consciousness. The 5D perspective emphasizes love, cooperation, and a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. So it's really everything we've been talking about with this 8 years about, is that you've already been planting this seed for your heightening in consciousness that lands you in 5D, and there's even 6D, and there's higher states of consciousness. So, and you know when you visit it, you know when you've had that moment when you're in the lower nature and you're in fear and you're looking out to the world to fix your problems, and we're still looking to placate to some God or some person to fix the ills of our world. That's 3D. When we believe something outside of us is going to fix our life, that's 3D. That's when you believe some job that you're going to get is going to finally make you like yourself enough and that you're appreciated and you're good enough. It's when you think you're going to lose a certain weight, and now you're going to be accepted in this world and you're going to be invited to everything. It's this, all of this, someday when I do it, then I'm going to love myself. And the 4D is about recognizing. It's kind of like an agnostic before becoming spiritual. It's saying, I know there's something, but I don't know what it is. I'm not an atheist. I know there's something, but I'm also not willing to say that I'm a faith person, right? And it's that process of going, I can see that there's more, and I want to know more. I'm having these dreams. I'm having these hunches. I'm having these urges intuitively. I'm not quite following them yet because I'm still questioning. Is it real or isn't it real? That's 4D. It's like you're aware something else is going on, but you're not willing to completely jump off the cliff to 5D. You're not willing to be brave enough to know that the universe has got you. And that's when we live in true surrender, true letting go, and knowing that you've never been really the person that's been in charge ever anyways. It was you thinking that you were that's destroying you, making you feel guilty, making you feel out of control, making you feel scared, and making you feel alone. Because you believed you were doing it when you never were in the first place. And so then we learned how to surrender. So we have to let go of the outer analysis of what we must do to attain this 5D consciousness. It will only come by way of steady and daily meditation, daydreaming on what if, walking in nature, and then miracle of miracle, you have an inner revelation of the divinity within you. You will discover the sight of Christ consciousness, not by sight, but by insight. Got the difference? You think you can see it from out here? But it comes from in here. So I'm going to start a new series on the journey of going from 3D to 5D next week. And these are the things we're going to cover. Moving from unconscious to conscious. The 4D state of consciousness and the proof that you've been in it for a long time. The difference between rigid and fluidity. Choosing sides versus ability to hold duality. Think about this. To be able to hold duality, because that's life. Being able to hold duality without it shaking your life. That's true surrender. That's true surrender. Choosing sides versus the ability to hold duality. Winner, loser versus winner, winner. Trauma versus healed. Reaction versus response. Asleep versus awake. Fragmented versus whole. How to access 5D consciousness. Moving from 3D to 5D consciousness involves a profound shift in how we perceive and experience reality. By embracing awareness, healing compassion, and higher vibrational practices, we can journey towards a more interconnected and harmonious existence. Remember, the path to 5D is unique for each individual, but the destination promises a more enlightened and fulfilling way of being in the world. I'm going to just take us in like a 2-minute meditation. We're just going to run a few minutes over today. I wanted to read these words. This is the tail end of a meditation by Mooji, M-O-O-J-I. You can look up his guided meditations on YouTube, and I highly encourage you to listen to his words because he's what, 100D? He's there. He's attained it, and he uses wonderful words for you to feel what it is that we're awakening to. So let's just get into the presence, get our feet flat on the floor. It roots us to our powerful Mother Earth. And just seeing the light of love just coming through our feet and up our body, all the way up through the organs, shoulders, head, until it's coming out the third eye and it's connecting us to Father Sky. This divine feminine, this divine masculine is just moving in and through us in just pure balance. Let me just take a deep breath in. Release any stress we're feeling from the words we've heard today and realize there's nothing to figure out. Everything that's been shared here is just a mirror of what you already know. And it will come into your experience as you are ready and as the time comes. But one of the things that will really break down what is needed is you must be the proof that God exists. Stop looking into the future for who you are now. Better to know what you are now than to project what you wish to be. Feel in your heart that you are the best, that you are chosen, that the one who brought you here is taking care of you. Know in your heart that though we are celebrating a phenomenon, your own part in it is ageless, timeless. You don't have to go out and preach these things, but know them completely inside your own heart. This is your time for this. Don't keep just waiting. You are already what your mind is waiting for. You are already what your mind is waiting for. Before night and day came, or light and darkness arose, you have been the essence of God. Dream this in deeply. And then you will be the proof that God exists. Amen. Before we take an offering for unity, I wanted to have my friend Sebastian come up here. This is one of my soul friends that I've had from my early 20s that I brought in from Costa Rica, who does healing work and has been doing it there. And he's a powerful soul. We've been doing this many, many lifetimes. And he's been filling up his days, and a lot of you haven't gotten a chance to get the healing work that he does. So we just added another day, which will be this Thursday, and there's 5 sessions available. It's living in connection, energy, convergence, and Roxiva light neurotherapy sessions. And I did mine on Friday, and I'm still floating. If you're feeling like there's an area you're having a hard time breaking through, when you have healers don't heal you. They just hold a space that allows you to heal yourself in their presence. And that's what he has in him, and he's had it since he was a young man. He used to do Reiki on me when I was like 23 years old, and I would leave the planet. So I'd highly recommend, if you're feeling like you're really ready to step into this, like new things and let go of the old things that no longer serve you, you can sign up for his sessions in the bookstore.
And they can come talk to me.
Oh, and you can talk to him also in the lobby. All right, definitely join us for the potluck today. Love you all. Thank you.
Well, you are in that place where you need to be. So many people will stay away when it gets cold. Unity is known to have a lot of fair weather birds. Birds that only show up in the most perfect weather. But you are birds that have shown up in the cold weather. Okay? So you are twice blessed for doing that. And you have freely received some beautiful insights about moving forward and finding your way into a life truly worth living. It's such a pleasure to listen to Cintisha share this stuff, because I knew her when. So now we're going to take an offering for Unity of Boulder. Just bring to mind that gift. Those of you watching on live stream, we have these different methods for you to give to Unity of Boulder, and we would hope that you would take the opportunity to do that. And everyone here can bring into their hands that gift they'd like to make today. And let's bless this offering gift with this prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. We have our guest sharing some more beautiful flute music.
The sky sings. The sky sings me home, where my grandmother's bones lace my own marrow. Ash on my fingers, soft from last night's fire, soft from conjuring stars. Mapping home. Home. Not like the place to return to after my skin lays down, but that resonant river that traces my limbs, where I'm rooted, where I remember myself whole, connected, powerful, able to do more than survive. A stone from the path asks me for a carry. We share a walk for a while. I ask this elder brother how to get home, how to remember myself whole. I ask if they will remember for me and seed my dreams so I never forget anymore. Brother tells me forgetting is the game. Survival, the map of losing and finding, so our hearts can crack deeper and deeper like stones in a sweat lodge, glowing red, cold water striking their flesh. Their hearts burst, offering the way to let go and fall home again. Every prayer should end in again. The soft ash on my fingertips again. May I remember to look deep into the night sky again. May I sing and write poems and light sage in the mornings again. May I remember myself whole again. May I say thank you even before please. May I wake up knowing. May I seed my bright path from end to beginning. May I remember the magic in everything again.
you.
Do I release and I let go because we're running late, guys. So we just want to let you know we have the potluck today. Just come join us. We have plenty of food. Let's come gather and socialize and let's bask in community. It's a beautiful thing. So we're going to bypass Let There Be Peace on Earth because I think that her beautiful poetry and music definitely encompasses that. So we're just going to go right into I Release and I Let Go. And let's all stand up and we're going to dance because that's what we do at this church. Here we go.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. It's your turn. Let's hear you. In the Spirit. And my heart.
You sound awesome.
Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle with my faith. I'm free. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
All right. Be blessed this week. Have a wonderful one. We'll see you in the fellowship hall.